What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Broderick Jones, offensive lineman out of Georgia. He's 6'4" and 310 pounds. Kind of another raw offensive lineman. Really good feet, very athletic. Can get to second level very well. So good for zone running, which is nice, especially for the Dolphins. That is what we do. But even across the league, I mean, more teams are starting to go towards zone running. Very few teams do a whole lot of power running anymore. Most teams' run schemes are zone-based. They might mix in some power schemes, but it is mostly zone in the NFL at this point. And he's also good at looking for work. You know, he's a tackle, but if no one's running through his gap and, you know, he sees his guard blocking somebody, he is good about helping his guard out, so that's nice. He mirrors his man very well, plays with a good base. Leans a little bit forward, which I'm not a fan of. I don't mind it on like goal line situations, like you just need a yard and you're just trying to push and you're running the football. I don't mind it in those specific circumstances because you're just trying to make a bit of space. But otherwise, I hate it. I hate players who lean forward. He's not as bad as some players with it. But the reason is because if someone pulls cloth or does a swim move over the top, if you're already leaning forward and you're a 300-pound man moving forward while leaning forward, your own momentum is going to put you toward the ground. It just is what it is. So, you might be able to recover, but you're going to put yourself in a bad position unnecessarily, especially if you're up against a guy that knows what he's doing, an NFL veteran. So that's not something I love too much. But he's not as bad about it as some players, but it is something I noticed. He does get his hands outside sometimes, which I'm not a fan of. I'm definitely a fan of getting your hands inside. If you're going to push a refrigerator over without, you know, straining your back, you're going to want to get your hands inside and use your legs to drive through the refrigerator. You don't want to bear hug it. So that's just where you're strong. That's where you're controlling your opponent. So that's my thing. One thing I will say, he is good about, you know, if he does get his hands outside, he will usually try to do some good hand fighting technique to get his hands back inside. But I just want to see that initial punch get a little bit more accurate. So pretty good finish, which is nice. I think he has all the physical tools. He has the athleticism. He has the strength. Has some pretty decent length to him. He does have a tendency to play a little bit high. I would like to see his leverage get a little bit lower. That would help. Some more knee bend. I think those things would help him a lot. I think he is a day 2 talent that'll probably get drafted higher because this tackle class isn't super top heavy, and tackles are very valuable. But I do like him. I think he has a decent floor, but he is still a pretty raw prospect. But I think his ceiling is pretty damn high. I like him, you know, in comparison. And also, because I mentioned like Peter Skoronski being a raw player, the only reason I kind of was down on him is because people were talking about him as a top 5 pick. They're not talking about Broderick Jones as a top 5 pick. At least I haven't heard anybody say that. But as like a early day 2, late first round pick, I think Broderick Jones is a very good player. I really do. Is he a top 5 pick? I don't think so. Someone might do it. Teams make bad decisions every year. But does that mean he's a bad player? Absolutely not. I think he's a pretty damn good player and has a very high ceiling. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate hitting that like button. Have any questions or comments, leave in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.